for the students of the game. Two really different styles. Rochester keeping possession, probing, knocking it in. Virginia Beach not having so much of that possession, but boy, can they explode in the attack with those fast forwards.
Miller, flicked on with the right boot, couldn't turn. Larson picks it up, he'll get the full 6 seconds now. Miller backs off. Larson with a drop kick. Fuller not pleased with that header.
But he does get there, Sean. He's covered a lot of ground. He's not a pretty player, but he's a very effective player. He gives them a lot of work in front of the defense. I think he's done well for the Rhinos in front of the defense today.
Mahoney back to his keeper. Away by Larson. Too strong for Washington. Hayes flicked on. This is onside. Commodore and fearlessly coming out. Joe Larson, well done.
Extremely well read by Joe Larson that time. Freddie Commodore represents the speed for the Rhinos up top.
We remain scoreless in the 35th minute, but this was a great chance.
That was very close to being offsides, and Larson didn't want to take any chances. He made sure they weren't dependent on a referee's call.
Billick. Anisi Amani Dove. Amani Dove. Couldn't slide it through for Lassiter, who's making the diagonal run from the far flank. Billick. Looking for Fenger. Now Dove with the shot. Big save by Andraki.
Big time shot by Amani Dove, the Rutgers grad, driving it forward and getting stymied by another Rutgers grad.
See the shots. Virginia Beach leading 7-5 in that category. Both teams with quality chances to score. But perhaps the moment of this match when Jakob Fenger's shot was cleared off of the goal line by Lennon Steenkamp.
Definitely the play of the game, no question about that one.
There is that man, Lennon Steenkamp. And fouled by Roland Aguilera.
They made name part of the franchise after Steenkamp. He goes all the way over to the right side to cut this ball off, even though he's the left central defender.
John McDonald has to be pleased with the side that he has put together. Completely rebuilding the Virginia Beach Mariners. This is a great soccer city. This is a wonderful venue.
Brilliant stadium. It's really nice. Great soccer community. I think when the fans in this town see the kind of players they have, they're going to start coming out and really supporting this team.
Gorgeous, intimate setting, the soccer-specific venue here on the Atlantic coast, Virginia Beach.
And new ownership with Mike Field, who's a Virginia Beach resident, but he's had business all over the state, several car dealerships, and he's really revitalized the franchise since taking it over about this time a year ago. Of course, we compare it to the Rochester franchise. That's a role model in the A-League. It's what all the other franchises aspire to be.
Of course, Rochester is still playing at Frontier Field, but they will be moving into their new soccer-specific home, which when completed will be one of the finest soccer venues in North America. The Rhinos have to be absolutely thrilled.
It's another great soccer community. I can remember when I just started coaching, running into a lot of people that coached up in Rochester or worked at camps in New England, and just knowing even then, back in the 70s, what a fine soccer city it was.
Lassiter holding the knee, going down, and a play-on was indicated. Finally, there's the whistle. Lassiter colliding with Lennon Steenkamp, and no whistle initially by the referee Daniel Burak. You see Lassiter holding the right knee.
Pretty close call. Lassiter running forward on the ball. Oh my goodness, that's very, very close, that one. And I've got to think that Roy Lassiter has a legitimate argument. Once again, yeah, Steenkamp definitely got the player well before the ball.
Fenger. Off the back of Schweitzer. Over the touchline for a throw-in. Jakob Fenger. Looking for Hutchison. He pushed off on Ian Fuller. A restart for the Rhinos out of their own penalty area. Want to remind you, coming up at halftime, we'll get you caught up on the other two matches, have those scores in the A-League. We'll have Richard Broad's interview with Lennon Steenkamp, the great midfielder for the Rochester Raging Rhinos, and we'll take a look at news from the United Soccer Leagues. All of that coming up at halftime here on Fox Sports World. We are scoreless in the 39th minute. This is USL Soccer, the A-League match of the week. Virginia Beach Mariners playing host to the Rochester Raging Rhinos.
We've got a 0-0 score right now, Sean, but it's been a really exciting match. Some great saves, some exciting dynamic play, and it's very, very entertaining for the crowd.
Looking for great job experience?
Not, with the throw-in. Back for Mahoney. Oh, that's a dangerous switch. Hutchison just stepping in front of Hayes, or he would have been 1v1 against the keeper.
Mahoney, very, very savvy, smart player. That was a dangerous ball. Hutchinson didn't really come to it as quickly as he could. It could have been a risky proposition.
Not. Long for Lassiter.
That's what Roy Lassiter really does best. Use his speed to get on the end of those long crosses and forward passes.
Fenger switching for Hamisi Amani Dove, too strong, but you have to like that idea.
I like that idea because this man, number 21, Amani Dove, has had a very good first half. He's been inconsistent for the Mariners thus far, but when he's on, he can really be dynamic.
Foul is detected. Suarez better be careful throwing the ball down.
Jeff Billick not agreeing with that particular call. Jeff Billick, one of these players that just is all about the field, tremendous energy, makes other players better. You don't notice him, except he's oftentimes on the winning side. He's a winner with Milwaukee in the A-League last year, winner with Clemson in college, winner in high school. Everywhere he's been successful.
Here's Washington, pushed off by Lennon Steenkamp. That's beautiful defending.
Superb defending by Steenkamp.
Through now for Commodore. He's onside. Commodore tackled, and that's clean. Still Commodore kept alive. And finally, the whistle being blown, but Commodore for the second time breaking free of the defenders.
You're about to see why Steve Danbuski was the defender of the year last year. What a play. He was out of position. Commodore didn't release it in time, and Danbuski gets back to save the day.
You can see in that replay, the far side referee's assistant putting the flag up immediately. Doug Miller absolutely cannot be offside in that situation. Just a mental error, Richard.
Well, Miller's an opportunist. He doesn't have the blinding speed of Commodore, and he's a guy who plays off Commodore, looking for the second balls and the balls that bound in the box. Miller doing the right thing, and it was just a circumstance. Commodore was the guy. He needs to get that shot off quicker. Danbuski making a great play, but Commodore shouldn't have given him the opportunity to get there.
Fenger through for Lassiter, and Andracki out quickly.
Reading the games like the savvy veteran he is. Billy Andracki's been the man of the match for my money, perhaps along with Lennon Steenkamp in the first half, certainly for the Rhinos. Look at Andracki. The more I look at him, he looks like Brad Friedel. He's playing like Friedel today.
Long by Sedgwick. Ball crossing over the touchline, throw into the Mariners.
Maybe those 30-year-olds with the shaved heads or something about that if you're going to play goal. It looks so much like Friedel. Maybe he's Friedel's return from England to slip into that uniform. Andracki's been marvelous today.
Commodore has Sedgwick to his right. That's where he goes. Bill Sedgwick. Switching. Hayes again unmarked. How often has he been open on that left flank for the switch? D'Annunzio pushing forward. Having a bit of a go at Glory. Well off target with the left foot.
Sean, my answer to your question is too many times, but I'd like to see David Hayes get even wider down the left side. He's got a little more space to get in that cross. He does a lot of good things, but what he does the best is cross that ball with his left foot.
Larson with the goal kick. 44th minute we go. Still scoreless here in Virginia Beach. Suarez. Miller couldn't control as he spun. Fenger on the counter-attack and into the attacking half. Jakob Fenger, marked by Schweitzer. Now Washington, that's a clever ball. Still Dante Washington for Fenger to the byline, marked by Sedgwick. Good patient stuff now by Virginia Beach. Looking for Lassiter, Washington! I believe that ball intended for Lassiter. He then dropped off. There was Dante Washington, unmarked on the back post, and nearly put it in the back of Bill Andracki's net.
Patter Carley just breathing a sigh of release. That was all too close. Washington has had many, many chances in this first half. I can remember 4 specifically, and Steenkamp, I believe it is, doesn't quite get there. Actually, it was Fuller who misjudged that header, and Washington has to do better than that.
The wind absolutely exploding that header. That's why I think it was for Lassiter. He was smart enough to drop off and leave it for Dante Washington.
Well, again, we talked about the wind, how it can affect things, and that's where it affects the most, on those crosses, and it may have been responsible for Fuller's misjudging the header.
To the 45th minute, throw into the Rhinos, no indication yet of stoppage time to be added. We do now get the word from the 4th official. 1 minute of stoppage time has been added by the referee, Daniel Burke, and that sounds about right. Still time. Washington. Aguilera. Billick. He's looked strong in this first half. Washington. Chested down by Schweitzer. Here's Dante Washington. Can't run through. Now Ryan D'Annunzio for the Rhinos. They have time for one more attack, but that ball skips away fast on the grass here in Virginia Beach.
Subtle thing, Sean, but that last play created by Jeff Billick. He tackled Suarez in the middle of the park. Ball was won by his teammates. He got back in the attack and served that ball in that Washington was flicking on at the top of the D. This Billick is just such an unsung hero. The more he plays in Virginia Beach, the more these fans are going to like him.
Nearly a half minute into that 1 minute of stoppage time that has been added. Roland Aguilera will take this set piece. Being backed up about 8 yards now by the referee.
Really have not used Aguilera that much, Virginia Beach. Most of their attack has been from direct counter rather than possession. But this man here is very, very talented. He can help them in a possession-style attack.
Aguilera. That is a very, very high set piece in the header. The push-off detected. And this goal kick by Andracki may be the last touch in the first half as we are scoreless.
Again, those high crosses, they look impressive, but I'd much rather see the ball driven in low. It gives the keeper less time to react, harder to make the judgment. The high crosses, so often you see the attackers so eager and they push off, just as we saw in that situation.
There is the whistle signaling the end of the first half, and we are scoreless. Stay with us, everyone. When we come back, we'll hear from Lennon Steenkamp of the Rochester Raging Rhinos. 0-0 our score. You are watching USL on Fox Sports World.